Events in Terraria are one of these more unique features. There are currently 7 events in vanilla Terraria which feature the Goblin Army, the Old Ones Army, the Frost Legion, Pirate Invasion, Pumpkin Moon, Frost Moon and Martian Madness. It's not Christmas yet, but today we'll be taking a look at the Frost Moon, the post-Plantera event with some really interesting drops. To begin with, we first have to learn about the characters of the Frost Moon. We'll skip over the boring ones and just go straight to the bosses. There's the Everscream, a giant screaming Christmas tree, the Santa in K1, a robotic Santa Claus with a machine gun, and the Ice Queen, the Queen of the Winter. While all of these enemies have some really good drops for all classes, we'll be taking a look at Everscream. Everscream has a really special drop that's, well, objectively better than the other. It's the Razorpine. The Razorpine is a mage weapon that shoots pine needles at really high speed. Similarly to the throwing knives and a magic dagger, these projectiles slow down and drop off on the ground after some distance. This weapon is actually quite rare as well. It has a 3.11% chance of dropping in classic mode and 6.22 chance in expert mode. Its base modifier is mythical, just like most mage weapons, but what makes it really special is that its DPS literally beats every single magic weapon in the game. Now, you might be asking yourself, it's literally a post-Plantera weapon, how would it beat a post-Moonlord weapon? Well, that's actually quite simple. This weapon is so fast and it shoots so many projectiles that it literally has insane DPS. But just like all other strong weapons, there's a catch. This weapon is not really easy to use. It's not homing, the range of its projectiles is not really the best, and it has a really low crit chance. I believe this weapon was made so mages can have a great time fighting Golem, because it's a pre-Plantera weapon. Anyway, jumping into the weapon mechanics, this weapon has a mechanic that I don't think anyone knows, or at least I didn't. This weapon actually spawns its projectiles one block away from the caster. That means you can kind of shoot through walls, not just one wall but even double walls sometimes. Since its projectiles spawn in a horizontal position, some of them can even pass through 5 blocks. That's a neat little mechanic, but it has one issue. That means if you're shooting really close to an enemy, your projectiles can miss the enemy. I guess that's not that bad, considering Mage and Ranger have a really similar playstyle. You'll probably not be in the face of bosses all the time, so... This weapon wasn't changed in 1.4.4, but it has been changed a few times since its release. It was released in December 2013, and just 2 months later its mana cost was doubled. Well, clearly that nerf wasn't enough, because in 2015 this weapon was nerfed once again. And this time it was a rather heavy nerf. Its damage was reduced from 58 to 48. It's like taking away 17% of the weapon's power. Unfortunately, however, all good things must come to an end. In the end game, this weapon is replaced by the Last Prism. Since it doesn't pierce and it has no splash effect damage, the Last Prism is just, well, a better weapon. Since this is a mage item, I believe it's a good time to talk about the problems with the mage class in the 8th game. If you look at the accessories for mages, you can see that out of 6 accessories, only 2 give damage. All of the other 4 just give you mana regeneration and reduce the mana costs. I believe that's kind of unfair, considering all the other classes have much better accessories. For example, ranged. The ranged class late game accessories literally all give you damage. The melee class accessories all give you damage and survivability. And all we poor mages have are the Celestial Emblem and the Sorcerer Emblem. Literally nothing else gives you any magic damage. I might make a video on that topic soon, but until then, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.